Okay, I think we need to have a little chat about some of the realities that happen in our sewing sometimes. Because I thought I was going to have a whole nother refashion video for you this week, and I was so excited. I even filmed the reveal, the finished product and everything, my outro. I even started editing it, but I just kept thinking that something wasn't quite finished with it. It wasn't spectacular. It was okay, but it wasn't spectacular. It's actually this one here. So it came to me last night or this morning what I can actually do. I now know what I need to do to make it just how I had envisioned in my head. And I'm actually going to go back and finish it. Unfortunately, I don't have time to do that now because I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go away for a few days, so I won't be able to finish it. Hence why, and definitely not edit a video in time to release it before I go. So that is why I'm making this video, to kind of tell you that I won't be making a video, but I wanted to instead talk about the realities of sewing, and sometimes this happens, and why we should go back and revisit some of the projects that we've called finished, and why it's a good thing to actually go back and revisit them at times. What prompted me to have this just casual conversation with you about this is that I so often, and only just, I think yesterday or the day before, read a comment from one of you guys here on YouTube that said something along the lines of, "Thank you for being so real about your sewing." And it really struck me because that is what I endeavor to do. And you guys, I often hear from DMs on Instagram and messages in the comments here that you love seeing my, I guess, quote unquote, real sewing. And that's the thing. What I do here, all the things that I create, are things that I am making for my wardrobe. Because I often get asked, do I wear this stuff in real life? Yes, that's why I'm making it. It's because I want to wear it. It's something that I want to have in my wardrobe, my outfits. It's something I want to wear. That's why I'm sewing. And so I guess that's, you could call my sewing is real sewing. And that's always my starting point, where I give information for my students and you guys here, is like real, tangible information and knowledge and useful things that'll help you in your real life sewing. I'm not just making things here for the sake of making things for a YouTube video that look great and maybe look like rubbish on the inside of the garment, or just because I think it would be a great title or something like that. These are things that I want to wear, even if they're just plain like t-shirts like this. This is for me. This is so, like, it's just a simple t-shirt refashion. It is nothing special whatsoever. But here is my point. Sometimes we call things finished, and well, I shouldn't say finished because they are. But like, I had filmed the final for this. It was done, but something in me wasn't spectacular. I knew it was perhaps missing something, but I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was until I looked at a few more inspiration pictures, and I finally figured out, I think, what I want to do. And I quite often hear from you guys all the time that you get quite discouraged when things don't go to plan and don't end up as you want them. And I see it a lot in new students, when they're sewing and their projects don't go to plan, or get halfway and just think this isn't turning out, or sort of finish it and just think, that wasn't quite right. There isn't really even a finish line. Everything is like, it's part of the process. I made a whole video about the mistakes are part of the process. I'll link it down below. And that's it. Every time you do something and learn something else, it's learning a new skill and something else for the next one, for the next one, for the next one. It's just a continuation. Like, there's no mistakes, so to say. And that's why I think it's important. Sometimes you have a great idea for something once you've had a bit of time away from the project to maybe reflect and look at it, and then go back and actually fix that project that you've already worked on, and fix it up and get that vision that you have in your head out and actually into your garment. sometimes it takes some time away to be able to get that creative process going. And that is it. Like, we're designing, we're creating it. It's an evolution. Sometimes you need a little bit of time to go back, and I think it is so important to go back to those projects that you might have deemed not quite right or was just missing something. You figure out what it is. Go back and actually finish it. Take the time to finish it, because it is worth it. It's great to see that finished, and when you know that you've got that certain idea, you want to see it in full. Because I can tell you that happens all of the time. Often I don't get to the actual finish line before I would maybe want to add or change something along the process in making it. Often it's midway through that I sort of see those ideas, but I guess maybe I was trying to do this one really quick and didn't give myself enough time to think it through, and that's what I needed. But it happens regularly. That is the realities of sewing, is that it is a process, and through it you might change your mind or come up with the grand ideas that just finish it off. So I guess the point is, don't be afraid to go back to projects that you might have deemed finished, or you maybe stalled halfway, and realize that it is part of the process. Now, I will do this one when I come back next week, so you'll see I'm actually obviously going to finish it and do those little extra things that I just know are just going to make it that extra something that just make it perfect, just beautiful. So I'll do those for next week, and that will probably be next week's video after I come back. So I hope you liked this little chat about just some of the realities of sewing, and know that when that happens to you, that's completely normal and it's just part of it, and go with it. It's part of it. Just go with it. Go back to those projects. I would actually love to know how you like this little conversation. This is definitely a different kind of video. It is just a very much conversation I was having in my head, and thought that I would actually have it with you about why I won't get to do that refashion video, because I think the realities of sewing are so important that you don't want to feel alone. You don't want to feel like you've completely mucked it up, that you've done something wrong. It's entirely not that at all. It's just part of the process. Go with it. It happens to all of us, because this is real life sewing. This is what happens. It is part of it. And let me know what projects that you have gone back to redo, or not, I shouldn't say redo, but to finish and tweak and make those extra changes too. Tell me. I would love to hear about what projects you have done those to below, or maybe there's one waiting for you now. So please let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you liked it, and well, until I refashion this one for next week, bye.